All right, so we can start getting into it, doing our intro. And I thought of something today, Icano and Jay Z, something that really bothered me. And so I'm sitting there at work, and I realized something about the English language that really bothers me. There is no such thing as uppercase and lowercase numbers. How has no one ever pointed this out to me before?
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a big deal.
I
Do
mean,
you
there's
need do you
uppercase
need to
and
capitalize
lowercase
your numbers or?
letters. Like, why
Well,
not?
how about if you want to point out emphasis, you can just bold them. I don't know. Like
Bone
I didn't know
numbers.
that was a big deal. Yeah,
It's a big deal to me.
like you're screaming numbers at somebody. You bold it, put some exclamation points behind it. You're good.
Oh man. Um. Yeah, that bothered me. I kind of no comments on that.
That's just like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So I'd rather not comment on it. Is the show started? Are we on? Are we on? Are we live? Are we
Yeah, man.
What's going on?
We're like
Scaro brain fail.
scare. It's not. Well, it's kind of like Scaro overthinking it like usual,
Lowercase
but
3. Lowercase 3.
lowercase 3. Yeah, right. Scaro uppercase 9. It's very important. But well, guys, hey there. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the Last Word Podcast, episode 21, as Jay Z kindly reminded me. Joined
We
as
can
always.
break now.
What about drinking? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The podcast is old
Shots.
enough legally, dude. We should. Yeah. Yeah. Geez. So episode 21, a lot of stuff to talk about. E3 stuff. I actually just want to point out, Zessie in chat made a really good point. How would O and 0 work if they're uppercase and lowercase numbers? Whatever. That's not Destiny related. Stop it.
Put a slash through it. Put a slash through it.
You filthy German.
Oh man. So E3 stuff. So just right off the bat, I wanted to clarify some weekly update stuff. So the release date for Destiny, out of nowhere, and we'll talk about this, was changed from September 8th to September 6th. Which, if I'm wrong, correct me. But video games either come out Tuesday night at midnight, so like technically on Monday, but you know, at the beginning, the very first minute of Tuesday, or the very first minute of Friday. This comes out on a Wednesday. What? Why? What? Can anyone explain that to me?
Well, I think the whole thing is unprecedented. Has this ever happened in history to where a game like changed its release date after it's been officially announced, and then like not giving the fans any reason for the change or anything? Like it literally just happened randomly during the Sony conference. And then like Twitter exploded. Like, what do you mean? Is this a typo? Is this just
Yeah.
Sony? Like, and then like Luke Smith finally had to tweet out like all consoles. You know, he had to be very careful. So people didn't think it was PC too. So he specifically said all consoles on September 6th. And like that still didn't really clear anything up. It's like, okay, thanks for the good news, but still, like, why? Like, I've never seen anything like this before. It looks to me like somebody screwed up somewhere, and like some intern somewhere is getting fired because September 8th was probably never supposed to be the date, and something probably got screwed up, and they kind of went with it.
Maybe
until E3, where they could finally announce. I mean, I don't know. Like, what makes sense? Nothing makes sense.
Zesius says that he heard that Bungie moved it to Wednesday, so there will be a worldwide midnight release. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, maybe it does.
That doesn't make it. Yeah.
Are you?
Does it?
Do games not come out on Friday? I mean, traditionally, I know the U.S. usually gets games a couple days early because we get it on Tuesday. Maybe it was something like that. I don't know. I wish they would explain when they did stuff.
I think they've done it on. I can't remember. They explained why they released on Tuesday a while ago. I think it's so they can get the shipments in before Friday the week before, so they can put them out on Tuesday. Because I remember when I worked at a retail store, we would get the shipments in like over the end of the week or over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you couldn't put them out until Tuesday. So I think that's originally, but I think because shipping's got a little bit faster over the years, that it's not as big of a deal to necessarily release it on a Tuesday, and especially with digital now as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I like that. It's just a weird move. Like Icano said, I don't think it's. I've never seen this before. I've seen games get delayed. I have never seen a game
Right.
get moved up. So
Yeah.
yeah, because I thought the same thing. I was like, is it a typo? And I was like, there's no way. You know how many people watch these trailers before they go live? And it's really confusing to me that they did not clarify during the presentation itself. They just left it sit there. You know,
They
like
didn't put a beta date either during the presentation.
no. And if you go
which
back,
was crazy.
if you go back and watch the same trailer on their YouTube channel, it actually has the beta date at the very end screen.
Which is what I was waiting for on that, and everybody's like, "When's the beta come out?" Because we were all in chat, and then I think he tweeted out when the beta was.
Yeah. It was actually they made a whole post on. It was like a This Week at Bungie, which I don't think we got, but yeah.
No, we're not getting one this week.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so they just made like a Bungie.net post about it, but still pretty cool. And that's actually the next thing. So the beta, PC gets it 1 day early, which sucks for content creators like me. But
PlayStation?
Yeah, what'd I say?
You said PC.
PC? That's not at all what I meant. PlayStation gets it a day early on the 18th. Xbox gets it on the 19th. That is if you pre-ordered it, and if you did not, everyone gets access to the beta regardless on the 21st on consoles. And then the PC beta will be sometime in late August, to be determined. And the PlayStation, no, excuse me, I almost did it again. The PC release date is October 24th. So like, what is that? 2 months after? 1 month after? How do months go?
About a month and a half.
Month and a half. There you go.
Yeah, about a month and a half.
Which
means that the PC is probably going to miss
lowercase month and a half.
Like,
but
I don't think anybody on PC is going to be able to do a raid race. I don't know how they could do that unless they're
blind
pushing a
one
raid into November.
They better not. There's no way, dude.
No. Not if I'm taking that whole first week off. I'm a little ticked off.
I don't see them doing that, and I also never see them releasing a DLC without a raid again after House of Wolves. I think they've learned that people love their raids and they want them as quickly and as frequently as possible. And I think they're all right with that because I'm sure they have a lot of fun making the raids. But yeah, so that's that. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. Someone in chat asked a question about PlayStation exclusives, so let's go ahead and bump that up to the front. Vegan asks, what do you think Blizzard will say about the exclusive stuff Bungie's doing for PS? And would there be stuff coming to the PC that's exclusive? So a couple of things. First off, Blizzard is a partner to Activision. They're like the same company. So I think it's in their best interest as well, even though that's a weird kind of way to look at it. But I obviously they don't have any problems with it because all of this would have been worked out before it got put on Battle.net. And will there be stuff that's coming to PC that's exclusive? I don't think so. Do you guys agree with that? I don't think PC will get anything exclusive. Maybe like exclusive UI.
They can get something quirky.
Yeah, just easier.
Well, the PC alone, it's already not a port. They've already confirmed that it's not a port. Because it's like if you look at it, like the menu screens are all different. The reticle is in a different spot. It's like closer. It's like higher on the screen. Like it's formatted for PC. This is not a port by any stretch. So I think that is the exclusivity. Is the fact that it goes 60 frames and it's uncapped frames.
Yeah, there's their exclusivity. They can go up to 220 frames per second. There you go.
There's your seriously. Like what else would what else would you need to do to entice people to play the game? You don't need to give someone a stupid sniper rifle for that. Like that, you just tell people the specs on what it can do. It's like
don't you call that stupid?
Yeah, that sniper rifle looks pretty freaking good, dude.
No, I think I honestly wouldn't be surprised if either they release all that content from the PlayStation exclusives on the PC, like either on its release or pretty quick after it, just because of the partnership.
I think you have to be really careful with that because yes, there's that partnership, but you also have to keep in mind that PlayStation and Bungie have to have some sort of contract that says they're referred to as exclusives, and they can't. I'm sure PlayStation thought about something like this happening or something. So I think PC will have to wait the entire time that Xbox does. I could be wrong, definitely. But if I was a business person, I would make that especially clear because if they don't, then
Well,
PlayStation's dishing out all this money for nothing. So
okay, but I mean, but here's my thing is like PlayStation is not a direct, really that much of a direct competitor with PC, neither is Xbox, because they're, you're going console PC, which normally you're one or the other. You're normally not both.
mhm.
So that's why I could see it happening, like where it's like maybe a 3-month exclusivity thing or something like that.
Maybe I don't know.
That's
That's
just speculating
still
because it's not like a huge, it's not like a direct competitor like Xbox is. Like that,
yeah
it's huge for them to have that year exclusivity over Xbox just because it's a direct competitor
yeah.
to, their platform.
I know I get that. That makes sense. It's still like a I don't know. We'll see. I still think from a business standpoint, um, they would have done that because like it might not be a direct competitor, but it's still like you've got to imagine some people are moving. For instance, like MTash and people, I know they're moving from PS to PC, and for some people, maybe a triple elemental sniper will be enough to keep them on PS. And so we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, so we'll go through a list of the exclusives. So first off, they get like the coolest exotic ever. Pretty jealous about that. I'm waiting to see how viable it is, but in concept, um, it's really cool. So it's a sniper rifle called the Borealis, which changes to all 3 elements at will, which is pretty cool. You get a brand new uh, Crucible map called Retribution. It's on a Red Guard ship. Which Jay-Z, you said you really like that idea, huh?
I thought it looked cool just from the screenshots that they showed.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, well, I mean, just being on a move, if it's especially if it's moving, if it's just not hovering or whatever, I think
that
it'd
would
be
be
cool just to see different
cool.
scenery. Yeah.
Do you think they would have to go like with physics with it though? Because if we're in unpressurized stuff on a moving platform, then there's like if we jump, the platform's going to move
Well,
beneath us. Do you think that kind of stuff is going
they
to?
have they have a moon map on Destiny 1 where you float and things float, things that drop float and you can
Oh,
kind of
fair
glide a
enough.
little bit more. So I mean, it's not they're not it's not unprecedented for them to put that type of thing in their
That'd be hella cool.
in their multiplayer maps.
I don't know if they'll
Yeah.
do it, but if they do, I won't be mad. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
they also get an exclusive strike. What is it? Sea of Shadows, Lake of Shadows, something like that. It's got the Taken in it. People were freaking out. I want Icono's opinion on this. I don't think I heard it. People were freaking out that the Taken are back. So Icono, why or why not? Is it a big deal that the Taken are back, or are you
Because
mad
we're
about it?
sick of it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, because it's like this. I mean, I don't want to be that guy. You're putting me in a weird spot because I have an opinion on this, but I know I'm going to be vilified if I make my opinion. But basically, it goes back to the whole like Bungie's being lazy thing, and this isn't a real sequel. This is Destiny 1.5, and like I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to make that argument, but and I don't want to go onto a rant either. But um, you know, we still haven't seen Patrol. We still haven't seen all that stuff. So everybody still feels like this is Destiny 1.5. So then what do we hear? We hear that there's going to be a Taken strike in this game, a brand new game. We want brand new stuff. We don't want like I know we're going to talk about it later, but it's like Ward of Dawn's coming back, and it's like that's cool and all, but like I would rather have like a completely brand new super than have my Ward of Dawn back. So like I think it all goes back to the same argument that it's too much of the same and we want more new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when people heard taking in this strike, I think everybody like flipped the lid because it's like just another example of how there's not enough new. So again, we haven't seen the game yet. We haven't played it yet. We don't know what else is going to be new. There might be new stuff in there that we just don't know about yet, and that's perfectly fair, and that's fine. But the community, the negative part of the community, is not willing to hear that. The negative part of the community doesn't want to hear any more announcements that mirror anything that we did in Destiny 1. They want to hear all new stuff. And unfortunately, I don't think Bungie's in a position to do that.
Okay, well, I'm going to respond to that as being a guy who likes his lore. Um, So, in a story aspect, Siva's coming back too, if anyone missed that. Siva's confirmed back because it's the Nightfall that they showed in the trailer it said something about Siva falling. So, it makes sense. If these things just disappeared You know, we know the Taken are still around from the April update. We know there's still a thing. There's a power vacuum that needs to be filled. And we know they're still pertinent in the story of Destiny. So if they just disappeared in the game, it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, if they didn't come back, if they didn't have any type of presence, it would be very, it would break continuity, really. And so I'm glad they're coming back. I'm glad it's only in like one strike, it looks like, in all the story stuff that we've seen when they're highlighting the different planets and stuff. The Taken and Siva have not been at the forefront of any of those. They've been little mentions of strikes and stuff. So just they're keeping the different races, you know, at the forefront by putting them in strikes and taking care of leaders or whatever we're doing there. But they're not making them a huge part of the game, which is going to help with the nothing new comment. So that's how I say it on it. What do you think, Jay-Z?
So, wasn't the Taken King originally supposed to be a Destiny 2 like thing?
No, it's supposed to be part of vanilla Destiny.
Okay. So they were supposed to have the Taken from the beginning then.
Maybe not the Taken.
Oryx
was supposed to be in vanilla Destiny. I don't think the Taken were a part of it. Just the Dreadnought was supposed to be. It was when they were doing the story write-ups for Destiny 1. There was concept art for the Dreadnought. There was. I think they were mostly supposed to be Hive, though.
Okay. So I'm okay with it completely. Just for the fact that it adds more enemies into the base Destiny 2 game, more enemy types right off the bat. Even though we've already fought them before, like they've already done new things with the Cabal. That doesn't necessarily mean that they can't do new things with the Taken, like the animations, or have them have a couple different characters,
just
or,
to that,
or ways that they attack you.
All of the new Cabal troops are going to have a Taken version, so there's gonna be new Taken, as well. So that's pretty cool. No, continue. Sorry.
So. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm completely okay with it as long as they bring out more new enemy types as the game progresses, just like they did in Destiny 1. Like you can only have so many enemy types in the game before like you just start getting confused, like 30 different enemy types or whatever. I'm just throwing a number out there, but like you can only have, especially with the lore of it, you want to keep your main races. I mean, like how many enemy types did Halo have? Halo, let's go Reach. How many did it have? Any other enemy types?
I think 2, right? The Brutes and the Covenant.
So I mean,
yeah,
Covenant, and then the whatchamacallit?
The Elites.
The guys that like charged you. They're kind of like zombies.
The Flood.
The name of the race, and Flood. Yes.
Yeah. And plus in Halo 4, you had the Orange Ascendant guys. I forget what they're called, but
yeah, the Ascendant guy. Yeah. So I mean, Halo 4 that wasn't even developed by Bungie only had 4 races in it. Like, so I mean, we're already starting off the game with more races than, you know, a lot of their previous games. So I mean, as long as they flesh out the story and give you good content story-wise, I don't see a problem with it. Even if they find cool ways to add the Taken into the story, not that I care one way or another if they do or don't, but. Yeah, long story short, I don't have a problem with it.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I've never had that conversation with you, Jay-Z. Like, just really quickly, I don't want this to take up too much time, but how much do you actually care about like the lore and backstory of Destiny? Because I consider putting like lore-driven topics on this, but I'm not sure if everyone would be engaged.
So
yeah.
I think I'm always interested in backstory game. I didn't read much of the like the Grimoire or anything like that, just because like it was a pain in the butt to get to it in Destiny 1. Yeah, it was on your machine, whatever, or on your computer. But like, if they could just like come out with they talked about even like, I can't remember who was interviewing, but one of the producers of Bungie writing a book about basically the lore on it. And he said, yeah, that might be something in the works that we do. Like, that would be cool. Like, I'd probably pick that up and read it, because I bought, like, 3 or 4 Halo books and read them, and they were, interesting, like Fall of Reach and things like that. So, I'm pretty interested in, like, just hearing the backstory, so, like, more about the characters. It's just not, I don't want to go to a website and read each individual one.
Okay.
And try to pick it out from there. I'd rather have it as, like, a flowing story arc, or, a story, but not necessarily has to be in the game. Just make it easier, more accessible, I guess.
All right, that's good. That's good. So that gives me stuff for future use. I just want to clear up something in chat. Zesia just, I guess that can be kind of confusing when I said they get an exclusive PvP map and it's on a ship. They will not, PlayStation does not get ship battles. The Crucible map is quite literally a giant Cabal ship. So I guess technically, if you want to go that way, they do get ship battles, but not in the way you guys are thinking. You just get to fight on a ship. So there's that. They also get an exclusive ship that looks kind of dumb and cartoony. They get 3 exclusive armor sets that the Warlock one looks all right, but that's really it. I think that's all the PlayStation. No, I really do believe that's all the PlayStation exclusive. Did I miss one?
So you didn't name the weapon, so.
Yeah, the weapon.
You named the one weapon, the sniper.
Borealis,
yeah,
that's it,
the other
right?
one, so. Oh, that's
no,
it?
It's just the Borealis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally
I thought there was one in each slot. I could be wrong.
No, that's the only
Yeah.
exclusive they get. Yeah, and they get the beta
they got
day.
3 weapons in vanilla Destiny, and they got 2 maps, 2 multiplayer maps, 2 strikes. So they're getting a lot less content this time.
Yeah. And they don't get an alpha this time. And they got the beta, I think, 3 days earlier in Destiny 1. Yeah, they really toned down the exclusives this time. Although that sniper rifle is really... It's looking like it's going to be better than Hawkmoon, Fourth Horseman, and...
I don't know. Hawkmoon, like, I wanted the Hawkmoon so bad.
Yeah, but Destiny. It wasn't... now it's... With them being in the power ammo slot, and shields matter so much more in Destiny 2. They're saying that they're really... To give that elemental slot more purpose, they're making the shields a lot harder to take down if you don't have that element. So that sniper is going to be huge for strikes.
So do you think it's just a button press and you can change between the elements?
They said you can switch it at will. And in the trailer, he made like a reload like animation. So I'm guessing you can click like left or right on the D-pad and you put a different element ammo in it, and that's that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, they said at will, and he makes a reload animation. So just filling in the blanks. That's that. But yeah, that's really all the PlayStation exclusives. But I did want to touch on what I kind of said. Ward of Dawn is coming back. So if you guys missed my video on it, first off, go check that out. But it is coming back. Luke Smith said that the team enjoyed the versatility of a bubble, how it can change, how one well-placed bubble can change how a game changes, or like how a game plays out. So the Sentinel, so every subclass, you guys know how they have the specialties. So like, for instance, one of the specialties for Golden Gun is it gets 6 shots, and it also gets like 3 other perks. Well, one of the Sentinel specialties is instead of being able to do have your Sentinel super, you place a Ward of Dawn instead. They did not say whether or not things like Blessing or weapons or armor are coming back, which would be really interesting because you wouldn't, the way the pathways are picked out where you have to have those specific 4 perks means that whichever one's coming back, you can't choose between them. So like if weapons coming back, like you can only have weapons. If blessing is coming back, you can only have blessing. That kind of thing. So I kind of already told his opinion. So Jay-Z, are you all right with Bubble coming back? And what do you hope? Like, do you hope it's just to cover an area and it doesn't have any extra perks, or what do you hope from it?
And I keep saying I listen to these podcasts back, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say and I keep doing it. So I think, have they confirmed that it's gonna be a stationary object that you just set down?
No, but he didn't make it sound any different.
Like, so I know there were screenshots of Destiny 1 and when it was in conception that there was like a Titan with a roaming bubble, basically the bubble around him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been surprised, because it seems like they're putting more of an emphasis on roaming supers that you can go around and take out the whole team. I wouldn't have been surprised if they have a roaming version of it that's more just offensive, and like it doesn't help the team out, or maybe that's one of the perks on it. I don't know, but like that'd be kind of exciting, I think. Or like even if they made so you could shoot through the bubble.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I just want to take a second. People in stream were just commenting that my mic audio was
not preferable, which sucks because we are 20 minutes into the stream. Glad people take so long to tell me. Is it fixed now? Is it? Because I think my computer switched my mics on accident. So I think I reverted it back. So everyone in chat, tell me if it's better. Well, we'll just keep going. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully I didn't screw anything up. All right, Connor.
Yeah, I can talk on it. I mean,
yeah.
because like when I was talking about it before, I was more like speaking like if I was like a member of the negative part of the community, what I would think. My actual opinion is, isn't this like way OP? Like, let's go through the abilities of this Titan now. So you've got a Captain America's shield, which is an offensive roaming super. So you can do it. You can throw it or hit someone with it multiple times. You can hold it up defensively, so you've got a moving shield. You still have the ability to put up as a Titan that little like white barrier, if you don't want to do any of that. And if you absolutely need to, you can hold the super buttons and then make a Ward of Dawn.
I think the Ward of Dawn has to be on activation. I don't think you can just throw it up at any random time. That's what he made it sound like.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying, yeah, that's what I was getting from it too. So what I'm getting overall is that you're, as a Titan, you are like probably the most versatile character on the field. Like, I can't imagine how anybody else can compete with that. Like if you look at Arc Strider, you're pretty much doing one thing. You're jumping around and you're pole dancing. Like, there's not a whole lot else to going on with that. With the Warlock one, that I always forget the name of, you're literally just doing one of two things. You're either throwing laser beams with your sword in midair, or you're running up to people and you're hitting people on the ground. But there's no like massive defensive ability for either of those new subclasses. The Titan subclass looks like it's so OP. Like, it's basically what they did is they took the Ward of Dawn, which is mainly a defensive super, and they turned it into like a super versatile offensive super and still let you keep your Ward of Dawn. That's what it looks like to me.
So I think that stems from supers being so much powerful and supers being able to, a super is essentially like a game of rock, paper, scissors, where every super has the ability to be the rock, paper, or scissors. So I think where it stems from, if you make only a Ward of Dawn for the Titan, any super could take it out. Absolutely anything. Arc Strider is so much more powerful than Blade Dancer. Smash gets multiple smashes, so you have to give it more of an offensive thing, and you have to make it new. They're not just going to bring back two Titan subclasses. So it's hard to do. The way I'm looking at it, they have to give it offense and defense, and with the bubbles, not like I said, if the chance that if armor, weapons, or blessing comes back, you won't be able to take it off. So that makes it less versatile. You'll have to place it on activation. So assuming none of those are coming back, you'll have a mobile barrier in the middle of the map that literally gives you no extra anything. Like, you're just trapped there. The reason Titan bubbles are so good is because it either gives you that overshield, you can't be killed inside of it, or you get the extra damage to help win that gunfight. But if it gets none of those, it's essentially useless. So that's how I look at it. So Titans are very versatile, yes, but also it's not looking like their super is going to be as powerful as like the Dawnblade. That's super powerful. Everything I've seen of Arc Strider has been like crazy. Like, you can't shoot the guys. So that's what I feel about it. What do you think, Jay-Z?
I just freaking did it again. I think that they will be more defense oriented, like you were saying. The Panic Fist, and I'm going to call it the Panic Fist, but the Fist of Panic, it should be an offensive super for him, and should be more in that align with like your Arc Strider and your Dawnblade. But I think I think just like the Bubble Titan now is the raid and / like any endgame activity Titan, that's probably going to be the same thing in Destiny 2 if this is, it's the way that they're making it. If that's going to be your team-based character right there.
Yeah.
And you're going to probably want at least one of them just for situational things. So I can see. I don't think that Titans are going to be OP by any stretch of the imagination, especially in Crucible. But I think they're balanced. It seems like they're balancing the classes out pretty well.
Yeah.
As far as as far as what you were saying, and there's not as many supers, so the supers are situational. So somebody pops a super, you can rock paper scissors to the other super to counteract that and take them out. So
and from what I've seen,
to be clear, let me.
Okay.
I just want to say, to be clear, I'm not talking necessarily balance. I'm talking versatility, like your options.
Yeah, no,
I
think that
if you pop an
very
Arc Strider.
versatile.
Yeah, like if you pop an Arc Strider, you know what you're doing. You're pole dancing. You're just gonna lop people's heads off. If you're popping your Warlock one, you know what you're doing. You're jumping in the air and you're throwing sword laser beams. That's all you can really do. If you're a Titan, you can choose. All right, do I post up a bubble here for my team? Do we need to regroup? Do we need defense right now, or do I just go all ham with Captain America shield and start throwing it at everybody? Or do I need to clear a path for everybody to get to this next checkpoint? Let me throw up my mobile Captain America shield. Everybody get behind me. Let's do this. I feel like the Titan.
I doubt that's going to be a huge shield though.
Well, I'm just saying that I don't know how big it is, but I saw it in the trailer. They specifically showed it in the trailer, the Titan leading the way with people behind him as he was holding his shield up. So he was definitely taking some shots. So I'm just saying, as a Titan, you have 3 options now on how you can support your team. Whereas the other 2 subclasses, when you're popping that super, you know what you're doing. You're doing one thing. You're killing stuff.
I like killing
stuff. I would say they're probably going to be the most versatile, but I don't think that a group of Titans are going to necessarily breeze through an endgame activity. Like, you need that DPS probably from the other classes to go along, and so
And I think a big part of that, like giving the Warlocks the healing or the damage lift.
And I was going to bring that point up as well, because they help the team too with that.
Yeah, taking that away from Titans, that was probably the move they were going for. So. Yeah.
But I do agree with Icano as far as versatile, or being the class that you can go in and help the team, in a multitude of ways.
Also, if it is that big of a problem, then Bungie's just not going to give them extra armor while they're in super, and you'll just be able to kill them, So, if you really have that big of a problem, just go take a shotgun to their face, kind of thing. So, I'm very confident in. I think Luke Smith has proved his team's ability time and time again. There's a few questionable choices, but most of the questionable stuff has been out of Christopher Barrett's team, which isn't necessarily bad because he's definitely more innovative, I'd say, but he also, with the taking leaps with the innovation, you're opening yourself up to a lot more, making bad choices. Luke Smith makes very good, balanced choices that everyone seems to like. I'd say the most controversial thing going into Destiny 2 is the new weapon system, and everyone seems to freaking love that so far, so seems to be good. But yeah, so that's all the PlayStation stuff. That's the Word of Dawn. Now, another thing that... Actually, here I am talking about Luke Smith making safe plays. So our next topic is going to be about the story mode. And Luke Smith has said what they're doing with Destiny 2. So, essentially, Luke Smith said that they never knew what the hell the darkness was, ever. That they were just writing stories for it. But the reason it wasn't bigger in Destiny 1 is because the story was rushed. We all know the story. The story writer fell through. They had to come up with something. They had a year to do it. So no one ever knew what the darkness was. And so Luke Smith says that they're putting things associated with the darkness on the back burner for vanilla Destiny 2. So right now we're focusing on things that have to do with the light. So the Cabal are not minions of the darkness. But we get to deal with them trying to take the light and us getting our light back and all this stuff. But things that are associated with purely the darkness, the Exo Stranger, more stuff like that, that's being placed on the back burner until they can find out what they want to do with it from a story perspective. So I think that's a good move. I would rather them take a little bit of time, give us story that I've been wanting anyways, and put stuff on a back burner rather than us get another half-assed story like Destiny 1 Vanilla. So I think it's a good move, but I think Icano had something to say about it. So,
well, what I thought was interesting is that Luke Smith said something very interesting to me. He said that the darkness is not a thing that we've even seen yet. So the way they're handling the story for Destiny 2 is basically the darkness is something that like Oryx is like the closest to the darkness that we've seen, like the Hive. They're the closest.
Well, Oryx in the
but we
Grimoire,
haven't
Oryx
fought.
actually talks with the darkness. Like the darkness, like talks like a person to Oryx in one of the Grimoire cards. So I would say
Right.
that statement's correct. There you go.
So with that said, with us not touching the darkness yet, we've got that opens it up basically to having another big bad. Because one of my biggest worries with Oryx was how do you top that? You know, he's like 4 stories tall and he's a freaking god. Like, how do you top that? Like, as a developer, if you're Bungie, and now I get
Smash.
it because if he's not really the true darkness, like if he's just like a minion of the darkness, he just happens to be the best minion of the darkness. You know, that means that we still have never seen the darkness. You know, the Fallen are not the darkness. The Fallen are basically, what are the Fallen? They were like us. The Traveler
They're
came and
us
helped them.
if the Cabal succeed.
Well, like basically, yeah. So like the Fallen were just like us. They had the Traveler's light and everything. Then the Traveler left them, came in to help us.
Well,
and
there's
the Fallen,
slight
the Fallen
difference.
hate us because we took that. From them.
The
They
Fallen
feel like, you know,
didn't have powers. They had the Golden Age. They knew all the knowledge and technology and stuff from the Traveler, but they never could wield the light. But yeah, essentially.
So, and if you look at the Cabal, they're not darkness. So, I just think it's interesting because, like, all this time that we've been playing, and it says the darkness consumed you whenever you see your wipe screen, that's been false. Basically, up until now, yes, that's true. Everything we've been fighting is the darkness, but not anymore. And what that basically means is that opens the door for us to really see the darkness now. And I get really excited. I'm not really a lore guy, probably for the same reason that Jay-Z is, or isn't. I guess should say, is that, you know, the lore was never really in the game. If the lore was in front of me, yeah, I would read the subtitles on my cutscenes, sure. But if it's on a separate website, I'm not going to go read Grimoire cards. But I always like am fascinated by like who am I fighting and why, and I want to see like how badass my enemy is and how difficult it's going to be to kill my enemy. Why is my enemy? You know, what's their motivation? Things like that, and knowing that there's going to be an even worse big bad than Oryx. That is enticing to me. That makes me really want to see where Destiny is going. That, to me, this week, was probably my favorite announcement, to be honest. I know a lot of stuff dropped this week, but to hear that, you know, it's kind of like they said, almost without saying it, they said, you haven't seen anything yet. And that kind of like, you know, that kind of excites me a little bit.
Yeah, and just to that point, that kind of leads into our next topic, so let's go ahead and do it. I think, in my opinion, and we'll start with Jay-Z on this one since he didn't really get a chance to answer the other one, but he can answer this one at the same time as the other one if he so pleases. I think that Gaul is actually better than anything that we've seen thus far. And I made a whole 10-minute rant video about it. Or, well, it was more like nerdy rant. It wasn't like a mad rant. It was a very good video. I enjoyed making it. But so people have already heard my opinion on it. But Jay-Z, I want to know if you like Gaul and where you think he ranks compared to Atheon, Crota, Skolas, Axis, and Oryx.
So is that the confirmed first raid boss?
I wasn't necessarily going for raid bosses, just big bads. But if you look at it, Crota was the big bad for that story arc. He was the raid boss. We didn't really have a big bad for either Vanilla or Rise of Iron, and we got the raid bosses ended up being sort of like the big bad. Oryx was the big bad for his. Skolas was for the House of Wolves. So I'm assuming it.
I I really like him. He actually has a dialogue, which a lot of the other ones really didn't have dialogue. They gave Oryx some dialogue, correct?
Yeah, but it was
But
like
was that only in the trailer?
no, he had some in the story.
Did he?
Yeah,
That's right.
and Crota
Yeah, I
laughed a
forgot.
couple of times.
Yeah, but I mean, it seems like this boss, like Atheon was fun. He was cool, and he looked, menacing, especially for the first boss of the game. But this boss has character. He's got a voice. He's got, backstory. He's got a reason of why he's attacking the city, or the last city on Earth, basically. And his ships look awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to actually see him more fleshed out as the story goes along.
There was also that one time that Skolas talked in Fallen language. That's kind of close, but
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
it's very important. But no, I agree. Like I like his backstory. That was like the main point of my video. Gaul overthrew the Cabal Emperor.
Yes.
So the Cabal are the fiercest race we know, and the point that I used in my video, I'm just going to reiterate really quickly, is that the Cabal are so loyal to this Emperor that if they fail in battle, they do not return home. They are therefore excommunicated, just because they have so much loyalty for this guy. And the fact that Gaul was able to be like, yo, bros, let's kill the guy that you are essentially in love with and worshiping right now. That's pretty crazy, That shows Gaul's got some serious leadership skills, and he's pretty crazy. And then to the fact that he's like the first bad guy we have with like a really cool motive as well. Like Oryx just ran around the universe killing things until we killed the sun, and he's like, I want their power now. That's kind of lame. And Skolas was just protecting the Fallen from Oryx's arrival, and there was nothing really cool going on. But Gaul has like a really cool motive, backstory. He's just a badass overall. Like you said, he actually speaks English, and he speaks a lot of it. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. What do you think, Icona?
My favorite looking boss to date is Axis. Here's my problem with Axis. I still don't know where he came from, what his motivations are. I don't know anything about Axis. All I know is he's a spider-legged, moron that we had to kill at the end of a raid. That's all I know about him. I don't know anything else about him. And honestly, there might be pages and paragraphs of stuff about him that I can learn. But honestly, I don't care, because I'm never going to go to a website to read it. So, with that said, even though Axis is my favorite looking of all the bosses, by far, Gary is badass. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I saw someone call him Space Bane, and I think that someone said Space Bane just because he has that mask.
That mask.
And he's kind of like big, and he's like, he looks like Bane in that respect. But I think Space Bane works because Bane is a very maniacal leader, and he'll do anything to achieve his goal.
I'm really
and like Gary. I'm getting that impression out of Gary right now. I'm getting the impression out of him that, like, you know what they say about the Cabal, right? They would blow up planets and moons just for getting in their way.
Yeah.
I feel like Gary I think Gary is the first physical embodiment of that we've seen yet.
Mm-hmm. And I'm really disappointed now they didn't give him that Bane voice from the Christopher Nolan Batmans. I wish I could do it. I'm suck at impressions, or else I'd do a really good run right now. But yeah, I think Caleb in chat, on top of what you just said, put it perfectly. Like, they gave us a reason to hate a bad guy rather than just throwing him in front of us and being like, "Ooh, look, someone to shoot," And I think it's pretty cool. I like that. Man,
that's kind of what you want in a protagonist.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a reason to go out and shoot things but like not meaningless though, like anyone, if we want to shoot things for no reason, we'll go play like Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty. This is Destiny. We want a story, so yeah, I think that was a good move. He's just so cool. I was geeking out over how just cool and just the idea, and I love the idea. I absolutely it's great. The idea that he thinks he is entitled to this. I love the imagery. This is probably my favorite thing about Gaul, which is really weird. but maybe even my favorite design choice in all of Destiny, the fact that Gaul is dressed like an angel. He's giant, he's white, he's got the gold, he's got the giant angelic wings, and it's very much like he deserves this. He's the good guy in his story, even though clearly going across and wiping out civilizations on your way to get the Traveler and killing people to get to the Emperor. We don't know if he actually killed the Emperor, but you know, he's obviously had to kill a lot of things, and he's very much not like a good character, very much not angelic in nature. But the fact that he perceives himself, he's got the social delusion of it, is just so freaking cool to me. That's just such a good concept. Like, what's worse or what's better than a bad guy? A bad guy who thinks he's the good guy. Like Handsome Jack from Borderlands is the perfect example of this. He thinks he's doing the world a favor by killing everything. He really thinks he's doing the right thing. I mean, you can look at people throughout like real life history. I mean, Hitler was that exact type of person. He thought he was doing the right thing. And that's so fascinating when bad guys are people doing the wrong thing, but not because they're just evil, because they think it is the right thing. And that is just, you know, whether it be because of like some type of like mental illness or you know, obviously something to think like that, there is something wrong, but it makes for such a fascinating story. And I'm starting to geek out again. And this is just how it happens, man. I think Gaul, for me, it'll be, and I would just like to say it's very crazy to me that they managed to put this much excitement in me, and we're still 3 months from the game. But I think from how it stands now, Gaul might be my favorite Destiny thing. At the end of the 10 years, at this point I can see Gaul being my favorite Destiny villain just because of his story and his character and his character design and everything. I think it'll be almost a challenge for Bungie to top this at this point, and I'm really excited for that in itself. But I think I really do like Gaul. Yeah.
Well, if you think back to Destiny 1, none of the main bosses were really that memorable other than like Oryx being huge.
Yeah.
Like none of them had a ton of in-game story to where you're like, oh wow, like I really want to go smash him, you know, like like kill him, like I really want to fight him. I can't wait to, like, you're excited for the raid and playing it with your friends, but yeah, this is the first boss that they've released where you're like, oh, he's got backstory. Oh, he overthrew his own, you know, people to become the leader, and he's, you know, got a huge following from, you know, the Cabal. So, and we haven't really fought the Cabal that much either.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be, hopefully the raid is mostly Cabal, or, you know, something like that, because I wanted a Cabal raid in Destiny 1.
What if we get into the raid and like the first encounter is Cabal, and then it's just like total screwball, it's all taken.
Yeah. You know, and I won't care, but like it'll still be fun.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait. I can't wait for the raid. I can't wait for the game, just to see some of the story elements, things like that, what they are improving. Obviously, we've seen a lot of improvement already, but as far as story goes, not necessarily gameplay or anything else, but well, obviously you played the game, but
yeah,
like,
I'm just, oh, man, it's so cool. And then add on to the fact today, you know, I was explaining this to you guys earlier, but my video just came out, so I'll explain it to everyone. Essentially, someone on Reddit saw that whenever Gaul kicks you across the rooftop, you're holding a ghost in your hand, and I noticed that 2 seconds later, whenever he kicks you off that same rooftop or that same ship, you are no longer holding your ghost. And everyone, even though I pointed it out in the video, people are still trying to make the argument, oh, the ghost just materialized in your backpack or whatever. If that was a thing, we would not have been holding the ghost in the first place. It would have just disappeared into our backpack. The fact that we are holding it in our hands and defending it while he's literally beating the crap out of us because we don't have light means that it does confirm that ghosts cannot function properly without the Traveler. So, the fact that it's not with us anymore, we either dropped it on the ground or Gaul took it from us. And I think from how Bungie's really fleshing out the story and making Gaul just this amazing bad guy, I really think it makes the most sense for them to have Gaul take our ghost and really put pressure on us. You know, like I was telling Jay-Z before this started, You know, if they just take our light away, there's no big deal. We still have guns. But if they take our ability to get resurrected away, that was a huge... The first thing at the Destiny reveal event, the first thing that we saw was the Zavala trailer with him dying over and over and over again and coming back to life because of his ghost. That's not on accident. That is very much on purpose. They're showing us, you know, a big part of being a Guardian is being able to never die. And by having Gaul take our ghost, which is something that I've been a huge fan of for the longest time. I didn't think they would actually do it, but now it's looking more and more plausible, and even more than that, like it's looking like it is the most likely scenario. That's something that really excites me too, because that really puts pressure on your endeavors. Like, just think about that. If the first, I don't know how they would do it exactly, but if your first like 10 story missions are just complete darkness zones, you can never die, or else you have to start over from the last checkpoint. You can't get resurrected. I think that puts a lot more pressure on the player, and it gives Gaul as a bad guy a lot more weight, because not only did he take your power away, he took your ability to come back from the dead away, which is that's pretty good. And it makes sense also, because if Gaul's trying to get, you know, the favor of the Traveler or whatever, if I'm trying to impress like Jay-Z's mom, I'm not going to break something she just made, you know? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to be...
That's your grandma. Why would you break your grandma's stuff?
I'm not going to be like, this is a nice birdhouse you made, smash, to make her like me, you know?
Is this the first mention of Jay-Z's mom on this podcast?
It is.
Did that just happen?
Episode 21!
Episode 21. Scarrow's grandmother, aka Jay-Z's mom.
That's hilarious.
There you go. But I think if they went through all this and then they made the mistake of misplacing the ghost in the trailer or whatever, I think at this point, if Gaul didn't take the ghost, it'll be more of a disappointment. So pretty excited for that. But yeah, there's that. Now that I've ranted about that for 10 minutes, I guess we can jump in. Does anyone else have anything else to add to this real quick, or?
No, I think you explained it very well.
So I think we could start looking at community feedback. I saw a lot of people talking about stuff we were talking about, but it didn't look like too many people had anything else to talk about. But let me look, man. I'll look. While we're doing this, Anthem looked great. We didn't get much information on it, but it looks really good.
Yes.
You know, I'm worried about Anthem. The Mass Effect games don't feel as good as Destiny does to shoot. You know, it's. I'm not going to say that they're clunky, but they're sure as hell not as smooth and as, you know, as far as like gunplay and things like that for Destiny. I don't think it's nearly. I don't think it's in the same ballpark as Destiny, as far as, you know, fun to play, fun to shoot your gun, and things like that. So as good as Anthem looks, one thing I would be concerned, and I want to see a beta, or I want to see more actual gameplay footage. I'm worried that it's going to feel too much like Mass Effect 1 as far as like gameplay.
Really?
I think a lot of
it looked pretty quick.
I think a lot of games
clunky to me. I don't know.
Like that. I think a lot of games like that have that problem. And I really believe that it stems from it being a third-person game. I know Jay-Z hates me talking about this, but I can't... The Division, there were a lot of complaints about it being really clunky and not being smooth because it's a third-person game. Dead Space, I love that game to death, but the gunplay was really kind of subpar. Mass Effects, a lot of them are... Am I getting Mass Effect mixed up with Gears of War right here? Mass Effect is third-person, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Gears of War is another one, though.
Gears of War.
Yeah, they're both.
So, but and that's the thing.
I think Gears of War did it best first.
The best,
as far as,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But still, I don't think you can deny that first-person shooters have a much more fluid gameplay in terms of gunplay than a third-person shooter. I would be hard-pressed to find an example that contradicted that. But onto community feedback. Caleb says he's thinking that they're going to kill Zavala. They gave Zavala a story, a reason for us to connect with him before they announced Gaul. They gave us a reason to think about Zavala and someone who figured out how to kill Guardians permanently pretty much at the same time. So that'd be kind of interesting if Zavala died. I was thinking more like the speaker was going to die, but they really have focused on Zavala here. They gave him that trailer. he's having like a existential crisis about losing his powers over on Titan. Maybe.
I think it's going to be a bait and switch. Here's what I think, and I was thinking that too. I was like, wow, they're doing a lot for Zavala right now. Zavala is becoming like a main character, and this is the Empire Strikes Back of this game. So what happens? People die in Empire Strikes Back. So, or at least not die, but at least bad things happen to them. So it makes sense that it would be Zavala that this would happen to, right? Well, look at Cade 6 though. Cade 6 gets the funny trailer. Cade 6
Dude,
gets
you're not taking my Nathan Fillion, man.
Look at...
Yeah, don't take him away.
Well, here's the other thing, though. Nathan Fillion, I'm assuming, is a much more expensive voice talent to have than the guy who does Zavala.
Lance Reddick... I don't know. Lance Reddick's been in a lot of stuff. He's pretty big. He was like one of the main characters in Fringe. Yeah. He's pretty big. I would say Ikora Ray has
he was in Lost as well, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So maybe.
Well, he's no Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion was almost Power Man in X-Men Apocalypse. Like he was like on set. He shot scenes. Like he's still a movie star. Like I don't know how much money Nathan Fillion is like really commanding at this point, but I'm sure it's got to be more than Lance. And it would make sense to me from that kind of standpoint that if we were going to pick a main character that everybody loves, who would you kill to have more impact on the community, and for some to really surprise people playing this game, to really get people like you put in a situation where like Ikora and Zavala and Cade are all standing there, and Gaul comes out of nowhere, and Gaul looks like he's got a clear line to kill Zavala, and at the last minute he kills Cade instead. That would be like so impactful. Like that would be huge. Like I don't know.
Cade's an EXO though. I don't think it would hit as hard. I think the only reason they would ever do Cade is because it's a T for T game, and you could get away with a lot more violence with a robot than a human.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. See, you're helping my point.
There you go. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think someone does have to die, but. I guess the fact that we're trying to defend Cade means that he'd probably be a better character to kill off for emotional impact. But I think in terms of like if they're really trying to start over with the light and they're trying to clarify the story, I think the best place to start with that would be by killing the speaker and bringing in Osiris to take the speaker's place. Even though killing the speaker would have zero emotional value because no one knows what the hell he is or looks like or does. I think from them trying to restart the story, I think killing the speaker would be not. I want to clarify. They're not restarting the story. They're putting all the unfinished bits on the back burner and really focusing on the important stuff until they can, in the future DLCs, really go back and fine tune everything. But
yeah. It's not a retcon.
Yeah.
A lot of people took that as a retcon that like they're scrapping this and scrapping that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nothing's getting scrapped.
I think
they're
people
just
don't read
on the back
enough.
burner for now.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, yeah, that's very much it. They didn't say they're getting rid of the darkness. They said they're not exploiting the darkness in Vanilla Destiny 2 because they still don't know what the hell it is. And that seems like a pretty good reason not to go into it, if you ask me.
That'll make for a hell of a DLC as well,
yeah,
in my opinion.
I think
if they do like go in depth on the darkness.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first really our first DLC is is it Rasputin? Which one's first? Is Rasputin first or is Osiris first?
I thought Osiris was first.
Okay.
I thought that's when Trials was coming.
So no, Trials is coming soon after launch. They said they wouldn't. If not with launch, it'll be soon after.
When we first saw it.
Oh, yeah.
It made sense that, because like you would get Trials of Osiris with the first DLC.
Okay.
So that's why we thought that it was happen.
Plus now we know it's Trials of the Nine Icon. Oh, come on, dude.
I know, I'm talking old school.
Yeah. But, so Osiris is technically the, if that's the first DLC, that's the first kind of guy we have linked with an actual minion of the darkness. Back in Vanilla Destiny, we learned that the Vex actually worshipped the Heart of the Black Garden, which was actually like pure darkness. So that could be our tie-in to the darkness. Maybe they do know what the hell it is now. They just didn't while they were writing the story for Destiny 2. You know? We'll see. I mean, we're months away from all of this. There's episodes for this. after the launch of
I was about to
Destiny.
say, this is a topic for another show, because I still think that we're the darkness. But,
Oh, come on.
We can get into that.
That you would think that.
I've got
I don't know.
evidence, dude.
I don't know.
I've got
I
a
think
mountain
that's the
of
plot
evidence
twist.
that we are the bad guys.
What if
Yeah.
I just what I was
We
saying?
can talk about it later.
How I'm saying it's so amazing to think you're the good guy or to have the bad guy think he's really the good guy, and then the whole time that's like actually our story. How mind blowing would that be? That's like the reason. Right. But whatever, different story, different thing. Game Fanes asked who's new. Excuse me, who is new around here? I don't recognize his name. So welcome to the last word, sir. Do you think we will get the ghost back from the story mission or a strike/raid if he took the ghost? Probably one of the earlier on story missions, I'm guessing. Yeah. I can't see them going. I don't know how they would do it because it doesn't really make sense to me in my head right now. But especially with there being a ghost slot in your character inventory screen, it has to be pretty early on. I'd imagine.
You gotta think you get a ghost pretty early on, just for and then they don't want to put it in a strike just for the fact that like not everybody most people will play the story missions and play it once or twice and put it down. Like you don't want to be getting a ghost every time you do this strike in the strike playlist.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me it's got to be a story mission.
I'm thinking like one of the first story missions. Maybe we get a new maybe. I don't know. Maybe Gull doesn't take it. He hits it from our hand. It falls off the roof. When we fall, we pick up the dead ghost. And whenever we get our powers from whatever we may, whether it be the Traveler Shard or whatever, the ghost gets revived as well. Or maybe Gull takes the ghost, but whenever we get our powers back, it also, because the ghost has like a link with us, maybe it gets revived and then it escapes from Gull and flies back to us or something like that. Who knows, really, but I can't imagine us going too long without it, even though that would make the story a whole lot cooler. I think the game mechanics would be really difficult without it, so, yeah. So Zessia says, I just had an awesome idea. What if the final encounter of the raid is fighting Gaul in the tower after fighting our way back? Maybe. I think that's going to be story mode. I think they're going to want that moment, the finally beating Gaul moment, to be something experienced by all players. And I think locking it behind a raid probably isn't the best way to do that. I think putting it as the final mission in the story would probably be a little bit better. Do you guys disagree or agree with that?
I agree. That's what they did in Taken King. You got to kill Oryx in the single player, and you even got to have a little bit of the mechanics of the raid too. Because the shade, they would have like that shade part, so like you could do that and like incorporate mechanics or at least feelings and themes of the raid, and have a way that where kind of like how they did in House of Wolves, where you didn't kill what's his face,
Skolas, you just captured him.
Skolas, yeah, you didn't kill him, you captured him. So maybe they could do something like that, where like maybe we kill, quote unquote, we kill Gary in the storyline, but then there's like a cut scene afterwards where we find out that he didn't really die and he escaped on some ship or something, and then there's your raid setup.
No, here it is. So we're fighting Gary, and we get to the very last, we get his health down, and then all of a sudden he gets taken, and it says, not even orcs can control Gaul unless he's taken. And then that's the raid setup right there.
That's messed up.
What if so what if we get done with Gaul, right? And we come all the way down and we beat him, and then all of a sudden a giant space turtle that hatched from Pluto comes in and smashes the entire city.
This is why I want to do this on This is why I want to do these on Skype, and I also want to be the host on Skype, because that way I can mute you.
So you can kick me from the call. Oh, man.
Space turtle.
All right, well, that's all the community feedback that we have, and we're over an hour now, so that's pretty much the entire show. Anyone got anything else to add for this one, or?
I mean, it was a big week. There was a lot that came out. I don't know how we could have possibly fit it in. Even if we did like a 2-hour podcast, I don't think we would have gotten.
Well, next week we'll do a lot more stuff. Hopefully, a more Crucible centric episode I'm hoping for next week, just because a lot of things in Crucible have changed. We've gotten confirmation about. So, yeah, we'll check that out whenever we have next week, and we'll let you guys know. But thank you guys for watching today. Episode 21, first mention of Jay-Z's mother on the podcast. Pretty big episode. We're bringing
Your
back.
grandmother.
We're bringing back
Grandmother.
the space turtle.
No, we're not.
Yeah. Oh man, but
Put him behind Uranus.
behind.
Just put him there.
Oh.
Actually, Uranus. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. One last one. Garrett Stone says, "What if all 3 Vanguards sacrificed their lives to defeat Gaul? If it was another game, I'd believe
I
it.
like it.
But in Destiny, we don't have enough characters to take their place, so probably not."
Dude, hold on.
Okay.
The Iron
Oh.
Lords. There was like how many Iron Lords were there? 9,
9.
8?
10.
They all sacrificed.
10.
They all sacrificed 10. They all sacrificed their lives to contain Siva. This could be like a rehash. They could be doing something similar. Where all 3 Vanguards lock themselves in a room with Gary, and like this could be like at the end of the story, not at the beginning. Like at the end of the main campaign.
Uh-huh.
Maybe all 3 of the Vanguards sacrifice themselves to help you beat Gary. Maybe that's how his shields are lowered, and that's how we're finally able to beat Gary, is after all 3 of the Vanguards die. And maybe that's how they can start incorporating all these new characters that we're going to start finding in Patrol and things like that. You know, it's an opportunity to get new characters in the mix. So I actually don't hate that idea. I actually like that a lot.
I think there's something different about killing 8 ambient characters off that were never in the story, were in the Grimoire slightly, than killing 3 people who we don't really have replacements for, actually have voice actors and are ingrained in the franchise. I think there's something a little bit different about that. But Jay-Z, real quick,
Yeah,
Icono or Scarrow? Who do you agree
Figurines
with?
and everything. No, they've got figurines. They've got.
Boom!
I mean, like
Suck
a
it!
lot of their stuff, like around those characters. I don't think they're gonna kill. I don't see it.
Yeah,
I just
Icono,
don't.
get wrecked. We'd get rid of.
Those are Destiny 1 figures, by the way. They can still make Destiny 2. That's all I'm saying.
Nope.
Nope, not
The molds
possible.
are the same. Not changing.
The molds are the same.
I said it first. It's a fact.
Oh, you're getting super sweaty with it, talking about molds.
All right. Well, I've been Scarrow9. You can find me at Scarrow9 on YouTube, at Scarrow9 on Twitter. Icono, do your thing, and then Jay-Z follow up after.
I am XX Iconoclast. You can find me on Twitter and Xbox Live.
Jay-Z Basketball 25. You can find me on Twitter now under that handle.
What?
And Xbox Live. Yeah, I know. Hey, you were my first. You're the first person. Well, actually, you weren't the first, but you were the second.
What?
Yeah,
you know what sucks? I finally got the template made, and now that you made a Twitter, I'm gonna have to go back and edit the template to put your Twitter handle in there. Thanks, man.
It's the same thing. Dude.
So annoying.
I'll help you.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, you'll help me.
We got this.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, we plan on having more of a Crucible-centric episode next week. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the first 20 minutes of audio being screwed up. People in chat need to tell me stuff faster than 20 minutes into the podcast, but oh well. But yeah, you guys have a fantastic week, and we will see you back next time.